The brownstone backyard was Eleanor's refuge, a sliver of green in the city's concrete sprawl. Time softened there, muffling the echoes of her late husband as she pruned and planted. It was her haven, her escape until Ethan arrived. Young, vibrant, and radiating a quiet warmth, he started tending her garden, and somehow her days. Friendship, she told herself, just a shared love for petunias and peonies. But as the humid New York summer deepened, something else stirred within her, a feeling buried for years. Garden talk turned to deeper things, and soon the backyard held more than just blooms. It held secrets, desires, and choices she wasn't ready to face. Just as she thought she'd found a fragile balance, her son came back, dragging up old ghosts, buried truths, forcing her to confront everything she'd tried to hide. Now she wondered if this journey of her heart had been worth the risk. Sunlight dappled through the fire escape above when Ethan showed up for his first day. Eleanor almost canceled. Letting someone into her sanctuary felt like an intrusion. But when he stepped through the gate, his calm eyes and gentle smile eased her unease. "Good morning, Mrs. Hayes," he said, offering a hand. His voice was warm, steady, genuinely kind. "Call me Eleanor," she replied, shaking his hand. "Thanks for coming, Ethan." He got to work, moving with a quiet confidence that belied his age. He had an eye for design, assessing the overgrown space with skill. Tangled vines and stubborn weeds didn't faze him. He approached each challenge with patience, almost reverence for the plants, like he understood the garden's soul. All day, Eleanor found herself drawn to his focus, the way he asked about each rosebush, each patch of ivy, every corner she'd tended for decades. She found herself telling him stories of her husband, of how they'd planted the old maple together, the seasons they'd shared in this green space. He listened, never interrupting, his gaze soft and unwavering. As hours passed, a warmth she hadn't felt in years bloomed within her, a sense of companionship as natural as the budding hydrangeas. She told herself he was just help, just another pair of hands, but a gentle thrill lingered long after he left that evening. Over weeks, Ethan became more than a landscaper. Each morning he arrived with fresh ideas, sketches for revitalizing the space. With each project, each shared idea, their conversations deepened, filled with laughter and a surprising mutual understanding. One day, pruning overgrown boxwoods, he paused, looking at her thoughtfully. "You really love this garden, Eleanor. It's like every part of it is a piece of you." His words struck a chord, a reminder of the life she'd built here, the memories intertwined with the soil. "It is," she replied softly. "This garden is more than just plants. It's a history, a life." Ethan nodded, his gaze filled with an empathy that felt almost too intimate. In that moment, a connection sparked, something beyond their shared love for gardening. A quiet understanding hung between them, an unspoken bond growing stronger with each day. As they worked, she looked forward to their time together, to the quiet companionship blossoming in the spaces between words. She told herself it was just friendship, a simple connection, but she couldn't ignore the thrill each time his eyes met hers. Her granddaughter Sophie was the first to notice. Sophie visited often, bringing her bright, youthful energy that always made Eleanor smile. But lately, Sophie cast curious glances her way, her eyes lingering on the garden, on Ethan, with a look both inquisitive and wary. One afternoon, sipping iced tea on the stoop, Sophie turned to her, thoughtful. "Grandma, you seem different lately. Happier. Is everything okay?" Eleanor smiled, brushing it off. "Just enjoying the summer. And Ethan's been a great help with the garden." Sophie nodded, doubt in her eyes. "He's here a lot, isn't he?" "Yes. Well, there's a lot of work," Eleanor replied, tone light. But Sophie's words left a lingering tension, a quiet worry that maybe her connection with Ethan wasn't as subtle as she thought. As days passed, Eleanor felt Sophie's watchful eyes, her subtle questions, quiet suspicions. Though she tried to create distance, maintain boundaries, she found it harder to ignore the growing affection for Ethan, the joy his presence brought. But with that joy came fear, a reminder their connection, their hidden moments, were fragile, and the love she'd found was both beautiful and dangerous. One evening, after a long day planting, Ethan and Eleanor sat on the garden bench, the scent of damp earth and blooming jasmine filling the air. Sunset cast a warm glow over the backyard. For a moment, silence, lost in the beauty. "I have to thank you, Eleanor," Ethan said softly, gaze steady. "Working here, it's given me a peace I didn't know I needed." His words touched her, a reminder of their quiet companionship, the bond growing in the rhythm of gardening. She looked at him, a surge of emotion, gratitude, and something deeper, something she hadn't felt in years. "Ethan," she began, voice a whisper, "I should be grateful. You've brought life back into this garden, and into my life." He reached out, his hand covering hers, warm and reassuring. For a moment they sat, hands intertwined, unspoken words heavy with meaning. Then slowly he leaned in, his lips meeting hers in a kiss tender and filled with longing. The city noise faded, leaving only his touch, the garden's quiet beauty, and the depth of their connection. When they pulled back, joy and guilt warred within her, a reminder of the line crossed, the boundary broken. But looking into his eyes, she knew this connection couldn't be denied, a love blossoming in the quiet corners of her heart, a gift bringing both happiness and uncertainty. From that evening, Ethan and Eleanor shared quiet, hidden moments, stolen glances, whispered words, secret embraces beneath the shade of the maple. Each encounter, passion and restraint, a delicate balance of love and caution, leaving her exhilarated and anxious. They met in secluded garden corners, conversations beyond plants and flowers, diving into dreams and fears they hadn't dared voice before. She felt alive, rejuvenated by his presence, yet a part of her knew their love was fragile, existing in a space as delicate as rose petals. As much as she cherished their affair, she felt its weight, the dread with each hidden kiss, whispered confession. She knew if anyone found out, especially Sophie, the life she'd built could crumble, relationships damaged beyond repair. Yet despite the risks, she chose to live in the moment, savor the joy, even as shadows of doubt crept in, a reminder their love was both gift and gamble. Just as she thought she'd found a balance, a way to keep their love hidden, her son David arrived unexpectedly, bringing a storm of emotions and buried memories. His return, joy and challenge, a reminder of their shared past and hidden secrets. David had always been distant, their relationship strained by years of misunderstandings and unspoken regrets. He looked around the backyard, a critical eye, his gaze lingering on Ethan, a hint of suspicion that made her heart race. "Mom, who's this?" he asked, tone casual but laced with curiosity. "This is Ethan," Eleanor replied, forcing a smile. "He's been helping with the garden." David nodded, expression unreadable, but as he looked between them, she sensed he knew more than he let on, that he saw the connection, the bond grown in the garden's quiet. Watching him, Eleanor realized her secret love was in jeopardy, the life she'd built, the family she cherished, at risk. Though she wanted to believe love conquered all, reality had a way of intruding on even the most beautiful dreams. Since his return, David spent more time in the backyard, observing her and Ethan with a quiet curiosity that unsettled her. He often joined her afternoons, asking about his father, a topic rarely discussed. She sensed he was searching for something, maybe hoping to understand the family dynamics that had always felt elusive. One afternoon, pruning roses, David approached, tone tentative. "Mom, I can't help but feel like there's something you're not telling me. Something about Dad." Eleanor paused, a familiar ache at the mention of her late husband. Their marriage, love, and struggle, a bond held through joy and hardship, but secrets about her husband she'd never shared. Pieces of the past kept hidden for David's sake. "Your father was a good man," she replied carefully. "He loved us both, but he had his own battles, his own secrets." David's gaze held intensity, determination that unsettled her. "I want to know the truth, Mom. I feel like I never really knew him, and I think it's time you told me everything." Looking into his eyes, Eleanor realized the secrets were no longer hers to hold, the buried past resurfacing, demanding to be faced. She took a deep breath, bracing for the memories, knowing this journey they'd have to take together, a path bringing both healing and pain. One afternoon, sharing a private moment with Ethan in a secluded garden corner, Eleanor felt peace, joy from finding love again. He held her hand, touch gentle yet strong, comforting and exhilarating. But as they stood, lost in each other, a shadow appeared. Eleanor turned, heart racing, to see David watching from a distance, expression confusion and hurt. She stepped back quickly, pulse pounding, trying to appear nonchalant. "David, I didn't expect you out here," she said, voice unsteady. He looked between Ethan and her, gaze filled with suspicion, leaving her exposed. "Mom, is there something going on between you and Ethan?" His voice disbelief, tone a stark reminder of boundaries crossed. Eleanor took a deep breath, forcing a smile. "Ethan and I are just close friends. He's been helping with the garden, and we've gotten to know each other well." David didn't respond, gaze lingering on her, doubt and disappointment. Eleanor felt the weight of their hidden love, a reminder the life built, relationships cherished, hung in balance. As he turned and walked away, she realized their love was on the verge of discovery. The connection found could crumble under family scrutiny and judgment. Next morning, David confronted her. Expression, frustration, and confusion. She sensed he'd pieced together more than she wanted, boundaries kept no longer enough to hide truth. "Mom, I don't know what's going on between you and Ethan, but it's not right," he began, voice accusation and hurt. "He's young enough to be your son. Have you thought about what this means for our family?" Eleanor felt the weight of his words, each a reminder of risks taken, boundaries crossed. She looked at him, shame and defiance, realizing her choices brought love and loss. "David, I know this isn't easy for you to understand," she replied softly. "But Ethan, he's been a source of happiness, a light in my life I haven't felt in years. I never wanted to hurt anyone. I just wanted to feel alive again." He looked away, expression pained, voice barely a whisper. "But what about Dad? What about the life you built together? Doesn't this disrespect everything he stood for?" His accusation cut deep, a painful reminder of love shared with his father. Loyalty bound them even after death. But looking into David's eyes, Eleanor knew her love for Ethan was as real as love once known, a connection bringing joy even facing judgment. "I understand your feelings, David," Eleanor said, voice sorrow and resolve. "But my love for your father and my love for Ethan are two different things. I don't expect you to understand, but I hope you can accept that this is part of my journey." He looked at her, gaze sadness and disappointment, and as he turned to leave, Eleanor felt weight of their choices, a reminder love, even in beauty, could come at a cost. Days that followed, quiet tension, distance growing between her and Ethan, reminder of difficult choices faced. Eleanor felt the love shared, joy he brought, but also knew loyalty to family, role as mother and grandmother, a bond she couldn't ignore. One evening, Ethan and Eleanor met in the backyard, the place their love blossomed, now filled with finality, quiet understanding their journey nearing end. "Eleanor," he began, voice pain and acceptance, "I know this. What we have, it's not easy, and I don't want you torn. I don't want to be reason you lose your family." Eleanor looked at him, feeling warmth of his presence, depth of their connection. But as she took his hand, realized love for him, though genuine, a gift living only in backyard's quiet, a memory remaining even as they parted. "Ethan, I'll always be grateful for what we shared," she replied, voice trembling. "But I think it's time for us to say goodbye. I have to put my family first. I have to protect the bonds I have with them." He nodded, gaze understanding, though expression held sadness that left her comforted and heartbroken. They shared a final embrace, tender goodbye holding all love, memories, joy found in each other's presence. As he left, Eleanor knew she'd made the right choice. Loyalty to family, love for son, a bond unbreakable, even as heart ached with loss of love found. Days after Ethan's departure, quiet sadness, emptiness lingering in the backyard, spaces once shared. Eleanor spent days tending plants, each bloom a reminder of love found, happiness come and gone like seasons. One afternoon, watering roses, David joined her, expression softer, presence comforting, reminder of family still had. Bonds carried her through joy and sorrow. "Mom," he began, voice gentle, "I know things have been complicated, and I may not understand everything, but I just want you to know I still love you. That's never going to change." His words brought tears, gratitude, and relief, filling her with peace. "Thank you, David. I never meant to hurt anyone. I just wanted to feel something, to remember what it was like to be loved." He nodded, gaze empathy. "I understand, Mom. And I don't want you to feel guilty for that. I want you to be happy, whatever that looks like." They shared quiet moment, mutual understanding healing journey begun, both moving toward forgiveness, a place where love in all forms cherished. Days after Ethan's departure, David and Eleanor spent more time together, sharing quiet moments in backyard, once her sanctuary, now a place of renewal. Conversations filled with honesty and vulnerability she'd once feared, now embraced as path to healing. One evening, sitting on stoop, David looked at her, compassion and curiosity. "Mom, I've been thinking about everything. About Dad and the life you've had since he passed. I think I'm beginning to understand what it must have been like for you. I didn't realize how lonely you'd been. His words touched deep within, reminder of solitude lived with for so long, quiet ache carried in heart. It hasn't been easy, she admitted softly. But the garden helped. And for a time, Ethan helped too. David nodded, gaze thoughtful, looking over backyard. I may never fully understand, but I want you to know I respect your choices, Mom. I want you to know you're not alone. Eleanor reached over, taking his hand, gratitude surging for bond rebuilt, love carried them through joy and sorrow. Thank you, David. I'm grateful for you more than you know, and I want you to know my love for you has always been constant. He smiled, quiet warmth in gaze, and in that moment, Eleanor knew journey taken, challenges faced, brought them closer, taught them value of acceptance and compassion. As they sat together, peace, knowledge choices made, love found, led her to healing, a place where forgiveness and understanding bloomed alongside past memories. With Ethan gone, relationship with David strengthened. Eleanor spent more time in quiet reflection, journaling thoughts, processing emotions filling her life past months. Each word written, a piece of journey, testament to love and loss shaped her. In journals, she penned final letter to Ethan, a farewell holding gratitude, love, memories shared. Then she began, words flowing freely. Thank you for bringing joy back into my life, for showing me love is timeless, existing beyond age and convention. Though our time brief, it was filled with richness I'll carry always. I wish you happiness, love, and success in all you do. You'll always hold a special place in my heart. Closing journal, closure, quiet acceptance settling over her like leaves rustling in backyard. Knew while love fleeting, left lasting impact, reminder of life's beauty, strength embracing joy and sorrow. Though memory of Ethan lingered, gentle reminder of love found, she knew ready to move forward, embrace future with courage and gratitude. Days turned weeks, Eleanor embraced new chapter, life filled with small joys, fulfillment. Reconnected with old friends, attended local events, even joined community garden club, finding purpose and companionship, leaving her grounded and free. Each morning, tended backyard, hands working soil, each plant reminder of love and memories filled her life. Roses bloomed renewed vigor, colors vibrant, scents sweet, symbol of journey taken, growth embraced. Found joy in simple pleasures, laughter of friends, sun's warmth, gentle rhythm of each day. No longer felt weight of loneliness, wake of solitude once filled heart. Instead, fullness, knowledge she'd loved deeply, lived fully, embraced beauty of love and loss. One afternoon, working in backyard, neighbors stopped by, admiring flowers, commenting on bloom's vibrancy. You have a gift, Eleanor, she said, voice admiration. This garden is magical. Her words brought smile, quiet satisfaction filling her with pride. Realized backyard, much like life, reflection of choices made, love given, strength found. In that moment, knew ready for whatever lay ahead, future filled with possibilities waiting to be embraced. As seasons changed, Eleanor attended community garden gathering, surrounded by people sharing love for soil, nature's beauty, joy watching life bloom. Felt belonging, thrill reminding her of journey taken, love found, lessons learned. Met new acquaintances, shared laughter and stories, each connection reminder of richness life offered. Felt quiet confidence, excitement for future, knowledge ready to embrace whatever lay ahead with open heart and unburdened spirit. Looking back, realized while love come and gone, left mark on heart, legacy of memories carry forward. Backyard had been her sanctuary, place loved, lost, found herself, standing at threshold of new beginning, peace, quiet joy filling her with gratitude for journey brought her here. In gentle sunset light, thrill of possibility, knowledge ready to live fully, love deeply, embrace each day with courage and grace. Looking toward future, new ready to create new memories, build life filled with love, laughter, beauty of each moment. Heart unburdened by past, spirit filled with hope, she walked forward, embracing endless possibilities ahead. Months later, looking over backyard, quiet satisfaction, knowledge choices made, love known, brought her to this moment. Roses bloomed, backyard filled with life, each plant reminder of strength, resilience, beauty carried her through joy and sorrow. She'd loved deeply, lived fully, found sense of self, brought peace. Watching sun dip below horizon, casting golden glow over backyard, knew ready for whatever life offered. Future a gift waiting to be embraced, heart filled with gratitude, soul unburdened by regret. Looking toward days ahead, ready to live, love, embrace each moment with open heart.